Tuning in to the online broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows. Interviewing celebrities and showrunners. And bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Oh yeah. Little girls from Motley Crew. Welcome to AfterBuzz TV. I am Tom Connolly. We have a live studio audience with us tonight, so it's awesome. Sitting next to me, Katie Campbell. How you doing, Katie?
I am doing wonderful. How are you?
Awesome. Great episode tonight.
Yes.
Sitting next to her, Lyndsey Wegner. How you doing, Lyndsey?
I'm doing great. It was a very emotional episode for me today. I'm doing much better now.
Some tears in the screening room. Sitting next to her, Mikaela Phillips. How you doing, Mikaela?
I am doing amazing. Thank you, Tom, for asking. And I think we're all very excited to get straight into tonight's episode with our special guest.
But first, let's introduce our special guest. You've seen him on tonight's episode. It's Cole. Travis, Aaron Wade. How you doing, Travis?
Good, guys. How are you?
Very good.
Great to have you. And sitting next to him, now we know one of the most, important characters in this show now. Ruth Connell. How you doing, Ruth?
Hello.
So great to have you guys here.
Nice to be here.
Yes. So we'll talk about the episode. You guys want to chime in whenever you want. Just feel free to.
Butt in.
Oh, yeah, just
butt right in.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Just be like, you shut up. I'm gonna talk now.
I'm the mother of the king of hell.
Exactly.
Spoiler alert. Right there, you got it.
You can talk
I love
whatever
it.
you want, being the mother of King of Hell.
Yeah.
It's out now. I can see it.
But yeah, so this is a Supernatural after show. This was season 10, episode 7, titled "Girls, Girls, Girls." This was a really heavy story episode of so many stories going on at once. And I know, we're all sitting in there. I'm like, what? That person in this episode? Now this person's coming in? It was a lot. We'll start with Canna, or I would say Canna. Yeah, Canna. Cass and Hannah. We see them, just trying to figure out what they're doing on this mission. Hannah, who is really Caroline, her vessel, we find out her husband Joe has been tracking her down for like a year now. Can't find her. Finally does, because she's been using the credit card. And we see her get naked in front of Cass. And she just was like, does this bother you? And he's like, well,
No.
kinda, but I guess, I guess he liked it. I don't know. What do you guys think?
I think he was a little bit uncomfortable. I mean, he made that obvious, but his expressions are just so cute and like Cass that you're sitting there embarrassed for him as he's watching it. At least that's how I felt, but I was giggling like a little kid. So
I actually think Misha totally nailed that, and you totally felt like the awkwardness and like the everything in that scene. Absolutely. And I remember when it happened, I was like, Tom, you called it last week. So I remember when we were discussing this week's episode last week, you were like, wasn't that Hannah who was like without a top on? There was a little more than that.
Yeah.
Wasn't Erica hilarious in that scene as well? She's so funny.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. It was a great scene.
As far as her husband coming and looking for her, I felt, because this whole time I've been getting into this Cass and Hannah relationship that's been going on, if you want to say that, but when her husband came, I felt really bad for Caroline, the vessel she was taking over. And obviously she did too, because of what happened.
And I feel like it's something that, us watching the show for 10 years now, we never really think of that. It's just, that's Cass, that's Hannah. We don't think that, oh, they took over someone's body.
Yeah.
And that person, as we find out later, Cass does look up Jimmy Novak and sees that he's missing. And it is very emotional if you take it from that perspective of they're just taking someone's life away from them. They're supposed to be, they're angels, but they're really kind of destroying people's lives.
Their first mission was to put the humans first.
Yeah.
What I really liked about the scene too, when, Hannah went back to kind of being, not Hannah. Yeah, Hannah.
Yeah.
Sorry, so many people in this episode. When Hannah went back to being, like the vessel of who she stole, like Caroline, I loved how like her voice had like a difference to it to show like how she had changed. Going back to that, I actually really liked that she had put that change into it.
I think her pointing out the human qualities that she started to feel as being human, as the water on her in the shower and these emotions and anger and grief, and seeing that all of a sudden it makes sense. It just clicks that she just needs to go back. And it was such a beautiful, like, heartwarming moment. And
Erica's last day on set was one of my first days on set. I tweeted a picture of her in the makeup trailer, and she's a wonderful actress. You know, she takes it very seriously and she invests in it, and I think that comes over, the sensitivity and the care that she takes with it, and she a lot of depth in her performance, which is just... I was sad to see her go. I'm like, stay and I'll boil your brains for you.
You did a lot of that.
Yes, we saw a lot of that this episode.
Yeah, and we did actually see a kiss between Cass and Hannah when Joe showed up to take her back, and I thought Joe was very just he was upset, but he just wasn't. I don't know. I thought he was gonna try to hit Cass, you know, throw a punch or something. He was just like, all right, I guess you're with her now. See you later.
Right. There was like no fight.
Yeah.
He was just very kind of blasé and go with the flow with it.
kind of accepting of it. Maybe after a year, I don't know
who's
if
ready
you'd be
to...
accepting of the fact that she's moved on without you. Because
at least he found her.
He found her, and then but then when she came back, there was no anger in him either. I mean, I'm sure. Can she explain to him what happened?
But I think that it seemed like he knew it wasn't really her when he saw her at the hotel, and then when she finally went home and she was Caroline, he could tell that it was her again. So I think that was where he kind of was like accepting of, you know, she was coming back home to him.
I think along with perhaps being accepting, it was also he was ready for her, like he was allowing her to move on. Like he didn't also want her to be unhappy. So when they met at the hotel, he was kind of like, obviously that's why his demeanor was that way, because then later on at the house he seemed so happy to see her. So I think it was also him wanting her to be happy, and then when she came back to him, he was happy.
Yeah, so Hannah has, you know, went back up to heaven. Her vessel is back as Caroline, so I don't know if we'll see her again this season again. I'm not sure. We'll have to find out. You know, tune in and watch. And then Travis as Cole, we see him torturing a demon, you know, trying to figure out, you know, how they tick and what makes them work, because I mean, you really wanted revenge on Dean. Yeah. For basically your whole life.
I spent a lot of hours in the library.
yeah, we haven't seen you in a couple episodes. So.
It's taken a lot longer.
All these weeks in the library, researching.
They had that many books on demons in that library?
Just the indexing part of finding the right book, and you know, I finally got out. And,
I thought that was a really cool scene, though. Just at least your character learning about, you know, the holy water, and at least trying to figure out something about Dean or how they tick.
Yeah, I had a few thoughts on that, and you know, it's funny because no one really goes to the library anymore, and they're all shutting down. But that's probably where you're going to find the most information, because books are, you know, they're dated. So if you go on the internet and, you know, let's say you're searching demons or something, you're going to get, you know, hundreds of thousands of websites. Whereas in a library, you're going to get specific ones that have been around for thousands of years, you know. So the books made more sense to study, and so finally it was like, okay, I get the idea of a library, but I can't process the fax machine. That's the one thing. Like, I'm still trying to figure out why my character has a fax machine.
But
he's old school. He's old school, man.
He can't process that, but he knows his way around, you know, a shotgun and holy water.
That fight scene was amazing. I'd never seen you rehearsing it. It was amazing.
Yeah, you said that you had an 8-hour day that day, right? And so how much of it was doing the actual fight scene and how much of it was actually dialogue?
You know, there was a big part of it that was dialogue. I mean, that was a long monologue. I mean, there's a lot to say there. And, you know, I was telling you guys earlier that, you know, after a few hours of just holding that gun up, you know, the tears and the pain were more about, like, the gun. You know, like it was
they were real.
It was like, this gun's just so heavy. But, you know, the fight stuff was incredible. I mean, you know, Ruth was just leaving when I was just getting there, so we got to have that little moment which was kind of cool, you know, to just come in and save her.
Over his shoulder.
Yeah. And then just watching her, like, you know, dance off was hilarious.
And swaying away.
Yeah, swaying away. And I was waiting for her to, like, fly away on a broomstick. I thought that would have been a cool special effect. That's later. Oh. But, yeah, it was a lot of hours. And I got to give credit to Jesse Franchuk and Dan Pelchat. They're our stunt doubles. And, you know, a lot of actors are always like, I do my own stunts.
You didn't go through the car window?
It's
I
funny,
did
I was going to
not.
ask you that.
Did you want to go through the car window? That was the question. No?
No, God, no. No, that, I mean, that's an actual truck. I mean, it's breakaway glass. But he actually jumped, you know, he went off of a springboard.
Oh, wow.
And literally got his body into a ball and went right through a windshield. And if you, like, put your body up to a windshield of a truck like that, it's a very small window. It's not that big. Yeah. So it was...
You got to be aim true, huh?
He's got to be right on it. And he hit it, and he didn't get hurt. And I mean, he is just, he's unbelievably impressive. And we look so much alike.
He looks so like you. It's weird. It's so weird.
Yeah.
How did they find somebody so like you?
I don't know.
How long did they look?
I want to take him home. You know?
You're like, I don't want to go do this today. Your turn.
Yeah, I wish I would have had the twin growing up. That would have been amazing. Amazing.
Did it take him more than one take to get, you know, through the windshield? Or?
No, that's a one take.
Wow.
That was it.
That's awesome.
I mean, if he would have messed it up, they would have done it again, but they would probably had to reset it, and that would have taken another hour,
Yeah,
probably.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Wow.
So people don't realize, you know, unless you're really in the film world, how many angles they have to actually shoot something from. So the scenes that we do, you do them like 10 different times from 10 different angles, and by the time you get to the last one, it's hard to find a new emotion, and then you have to match. It's such a delicate process you don't learn in acting class. You know?
When they shot the stunt, though, then do they have multiple cameras obviously on it so that they don't have to reshoot? Correct?
Yeah, the only way they reshoot if he didn't go through the windshield. But yeah, they have multiple cameras in case one camera didn't get it. But you know, that's just, fight scenes are almost an entire day. They're just so tedious.
Exhausting.
Yeah.
They're exhausting.
But, I mean, you learned it before that day, did you not?
Yeah, well, the first fight stuff I did with Jared.
Because there's so much choreography, you'd need a day to kind of just...
Yeah.
Well, I would need to.
And you learn that day, so it's not like, you know, in a movie, they would give you a couple weeks to rehearse and practice. In TV, they show up in that day, they're like, okay, this is what we're going to do.
Wow.
So you kind of have to learn that stuff the day of, which is really it's really challenging.
So you were a little sore the next day then?
I'm still on a brace right now.
This explains this.
Yeah, this is what she did to me after.
Well, it just happened like an hour ago, so I understand why. But yeah, so, you know, we did see that your character kind of, we think, is leaving.
Yeah.
We were told he's going home to his family.
Right.
Is he coming
For
back?
now, anyway.
Yeah.
You know, I think that he, you know, said what he had to say and he made peace with the boys, but I don't know. I mean, there's part of me that thinks that we should have gone out and had a beer or a meal. So I possibly could come back and just take him out to Chili's or Fridays or something. Or an episode of us just eating at Fridays.
Back to the $10 steak
very
place.
Yeah. I mean, I
There
could
you
see
go.
your character definitely maybe wanting to go hunt, you know, hunting like the boys do, because you at least know about this world now.
Yeah, and I think he's been training for this his entire life. So now that his mission's over, it's like, what now, right?
Yeah.
I mean, these guys don't like to retire, you know.
Well,
so.
we've gotten a lot of stuff on YouTube. I think that's probably what you're going to say. We've gotten a lot of stuff and productions on YouTube that you are actually going to take the mark of Cain away from Dean.
And rule hell with Crowley.
And rule hell with Crowley. So
Which is really
maybe
Hook up with Crowley's mom.
When you
like
did,
a toy bomb.
when she did get away, it seemed like you guys, I thought you were working together.
We worked for a minute.
But I think like the whole
That moment
time.
over his shoulder, you know, set up a whole new
A
dynamic.
whole new
and
television
supernatural.
series.
It just looked like, I thought maybe that, you know, you were working with her the whole time trying to find the boys, and she just happened to come across them.
I mean, somebody tweeted earlier it was just really bad timing, and it was like, no, it was really, really good timing.
Yeah, because I mean, you were gonna be caught by them, but you know, he came to save the day.
I think I'm quite jammy like that. I think that maybe something.
Yes.
And I thought, I mean, you know, that moment that they had, there is definitely a moment where we, you know, look at her and, you know, I'd say take off, but it was kind of like, I'll see you later. That's what I was saying.
Yeah.
You started plotting for later. you know, you're gonna get out of that. You know, Crowley's gonna let you go. So you know, you
Is
can
he?
go have a date or something. Or, you know, I don't know. we don't have Cass and Hannah anymore, so you know, we need to have some other kind of romance in the show.
Yeah, I could see like a scene between me and Crowley, and I'm like, your mom's hot.
Excuse me, knock on the door of hell to like, I'm here to pick your mom up.
Oh my god! It's a whole other show.
Oh my gosh.
After the first clip of me, like in episode 3, somebody noticed there was an empty seat beside me, and there was a flower, like an orange flower, and they were like, "Is Rowena looking for romance?"
Oh my gosh.
And I'm like, well, she might be open.
Yeah. I mean, you don't really know how old your character is. She's been around for a while.
She'd be like somewhat immortal almost or something.
Yeah,
Well,
she's
she's
a
been
witch.
around for 300 years, they said.
Oh,
That's
300
right.
years.
Yeah.
I've been
The spell hasn't been used in 300 years. That's what I had written down.
I've
So
been knocking about a bit.
so even longer than that, you've been around, obviously.
Yes.
Well, I want to know more.
Yeah.
You have to watch and see.
Okay.
She uses
wait.
amazing facial care products, doesn't she?
Just some spells that she whips up.
I'm
But
gonna
yeah,
play like a Spokestone now after this.
Yeah, that would be good.
With the face of a brand.
so before we get to Rowena, you know, the boys are hanging out at this steak restaurant, and Dean's phone's blowing up, and we find that he's on like a Tinder kind of app.
That's hysterical.
Yeah, it was great. And you know, he wanted the steak and to get laid, so
They detoured 8 hours.
yes,
So
just for
that he
So we
could
can do that.
hook up with a girl.
Oh my gosh.
Hey, I mean
It
that girl was
happens.
good looking. I mean that's 8 hours is a long way to go. But then we find out that she wants his soul, and that you know she's working with I guess a crossroads demon,
demon.
To get souls from everybody.
Raul.
Raul, who does not last long because he then runs into Rowena, who
I just love Dean's stance on the picture you see on the
Yeah.
phone.
I know.
It's like a Sears picture. It's
Yeah.
like a
Yeah.
Sears
I mean, as a
portrait.
girl, I'm like, if I was on Tinder, swipe left. I know.
With that face.
I love
You'd
his
probably be
username.
like zooming up on the
Yeah.
picture, like, is the face worth it?
I love his
username.
username, Impala
Impa-
66.
yeah.
That was good.
Impala.
Loves that.
So I always like asking the girls, like, I guess it's a Dean or Sam kind of thing. Who do you guys
Oh, yeah.
like?
No, it's both.
Dean.
I don't know if you
Dean.
can choose.
Dean.
neither.
No. It's LA. You don't know. You just don't know.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No. But yeah, it was. So it's Impala 67. Shailene shows up. She wants his soul. Raul finds Rowena. Well, Rowena finds Raul at his place.
Yeah, I just happened.
Wait,
upon
we
it.
have to talk about no cash for ass.
Oh yes.
Oh my gosh.
And his comment and how ridiculously cute he was, like playing the little cat and mouse game with her. I just thought that was. He's just so quick and it's easy and it flows for him. I love that. This was, in my opinion, one of the best acting episodes I've seen of Supernatural. Everybody was so strong. It was literally like, I mean, I was laughing, crying, yelling. Everything was, it was seriously on point. It was some of the best acting. So props to you guys majorly, because it was
I mean, I just loved that
Brilliant.
scene with you guys at the end. It was
at the end.
amazing.
Heartwarming,
No,
yeah.
I was tearing up.
Yeah,
Sorry.
So Rowena finds Raul. Raul doesn't last long, but Gerald does escape, you know, out of his vessel. And he goes back to Crowley and tells him that, you know, they started a brothel, and Crowley was, you know, upset with them because now
Tacky.
You know,
I love that line.
Yes, and it's you know, they're setting up a side business along with his business, like, you know, just to get, I guess, more demons in, or more souls. Actually, it's probably what they really wanted. But then, you know, Rowena does take two of the hookers, I guess.
Girls.
Yeah, girls.
Prostitutes.
Yeah,
Two of the girls.
Yeah.
Courtesans.
Yeah, under her wing. And I love the scene in the restaurant where, you know, he's like, the waiter comes up and says, these girls can't be here, and you know, you kind of hand him this
Hex
like,
bag.
Yeah, bag.
Hex bag, that's it.
And, you know, suddenly every waiter in there is bringing you everything you want.
That was very like Pretty Woman.
Oh, it was totally Pretty Woman.
Very Pretty Woman.
It's my kind of restaurant, bringing all sorts of food and
Yeah,
drinks.
it was also my favorite drink. Like, I love pink champagne, and it's like, oh, Rowena drinks pink champagne.
Do you guys get to eat everything too? That they serve?
It's so funny. There was pate on the plate, and I'm supposed to spread the pate, and I couldn't get the knife through it. It was like it sat there for so long. It was like rubber. So my knife was like bouncing off of it. So we just had to kind of improvise around.
What a tease!
Nothing was eaten.
Yeah, if you're watching the pate and then they're not doing a very good job.
the pate was upstaging us to begin with.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, so you kind of take these two girls under your wing, you know, want to teach them, you know, you want to start at your own coven.
I want a coven, yeah.
Because apparently you were kicked out of the grand coven.
I think that bothers me, I think.
I can't wait to see what you did to get kicked out. That's what I want to know, because I mean, you already seem dangerous, and you know, you play by your own rules already. What did you do to really piss other witches off?
I wonder.
It's why Crowley exists.
That's what I was gonna say. Yeah.
It's because it's got something to do with Crowley. Oh my gosh, I'm so
wow,
excited.
that's a good prediction. That's really good. That is really good.
Sorry. Okay, let's talk about that later.
But yeah, so I mean, I thought the girls were gonna stay with you. I didn't think they were.
So
gonna...
did I.
Yeah.
They did for a while. They lived far longer than we see most women.
Yeah,
on the
and
show.
Chelsea's character, she leaves. She punches me. She leaves.
Yeah.
I'm like, she could come back.
Yeah, she got
She's
away.
a great girl, Chelsea.
She's tough.
Will she come back? Because that was a question I had with your character saying she saw something in her. Was that just something she was saying, or did your character really
I mean, I
see
would have her in
something?
my coven.
Yeah.
I mean, if the writers, I don't know if they decide whether she comes in or not. I would have her.
Yeah.
She's a really cool girl, Chelsea, the girl that played her.
I'd bring her back too.
Yeah.
I definitely don't think it's also the end of Rowena kind of, you know, like searching and like preying on maybe some of the innocent girls out there.
Just the beginning.
Exactly.
I said this last week. I knew you were going to be a character to stay. Remember when we were predicting about what was going to happen with Rowena? Is she going to stay long? Is she not going to?
I'm glad she stayed. I went on the offense, and I was like, oh, she'll probably die, because I'm just used to like that happening. And I'm glad you didn't, because I wanted to say yes, and I was like, I should probably say no.
Rena's staying alive.
Yeah.
For now.
But yeah, so one of the girls got away. The other one, you know, did an attack dog spell on her as she went to attack Sam and Dean. I mean, she really kicked the crap out of them.
Her scream nearly burst our eardrums, you know, when the spell got cast and she went, ah! I mean, we were like, whoa! Oh my gosh. She kicked our asses with that.
Yes. So, yeah, and then as, you know, they kind of split off. Sam deals with Elle, who, you know, was the attack dog. She didn't make it out. You know, hey, there's got to be some casualties along the way. Especially when you get, you know, a spell put on you by a witch. As we saw with the waiter, who, you know, his head boiled. First I couldn't tell what was happening to him.
I know.
Like, what did you guys think was happening to him?
I was sitting there, like, I think Lyndsey was sitting next to me, and she was like, oh my gosh, what's happening? And I was just sitting there, like, smiling.
She was
and I was
all
like,
excited
this
about
is
it.
great. I was like the makeup of it and, like, the whole process.
He looked like a burst tomato.
Awesome.
By the
Much
end.
wasabi.
Yeah, and you gradually see it happening as well. It wasn't just, like, straight away.
It's so fun to see it because I haven't seen it.
Yeah.
Tonight watching it with you guys.
Oh.
It's the
It was
first
so
time.
great
so
watching
cool to
it
see that
with
effect.
you guys.
Yeah.
So wait, his head didn't boil while you were on set?
I mean,
You're destroying the show for me right now.
killing the magic.
I think we always say that the death scenes are really, really just interesting to see because they do such a good job with makeup, with effects, with everything. So all the people that are involved, but behind the scenes working on that is
The
just,
makeup in their fight scene, like, just
Yeah.
you can see
Yeah.
it
That was
patching on and on
awesome.
and on and on.
And even you at the end when you were tied up.
Yeah.
That was my favorite thing to do.
Cat
was
got
the
your
ends.
tongue.
Yeah.
I liked
Yeah.
that.
Did you like
line a
my
lot.
meow?
Yes,
Yes.
I did.
Yes.
It was kind of like eerie almost. Like you very much nail like that kind of creepiness almost, or eeriness.
Saying I'm creepy.
Not you, Rowena.
That's good. That's good. That's what I'm going for.
It's a confident, sexy evil, which I think is just, I think that's the best kind of evil that there is. It's very Maleficent, you know,
And
she's
definitely-
confident, she's
Oh, yeah.
sexy, and she's this evil person, but she's got a little bit of a heart, and so,
Yeah, there's something underneath.
Yeah.
And it's definitely, I think, what the show kind of needs, like a strong female lead like that right now.
with
Yeah.
all the
Yes.
layers.
Absolutely. And like, yeah, we'll peel that back as each episode goes on.
Did
we
you-
learn more about Rowena?
Did you improv the meow? Yes.
Oh,
And you
like
also
that.
mentioned you improv the fabulous.
Yes.
That scene.
Bob Singer was like, "You want a writing credit, Ruth?" Trying to make your role bigger. I just felt in my bones it was fabulous, and I just really wanted to see it.
I mean, if it
And they
comes
let me.
naturally, it definitely transferred to screen. Like, we wouldn't be able to tell that wasn't
And
scripted.
and it stuck. They loved it, obviously. Otherwise, it would have been cut.
It would have been easy to cut it out if it didn't work, so they let me do it. And I mean, I wasn't pushing my luck trying, but there were just a couple of things that I felt in my bones, and I was like, oh, I just have to be brave. I mean, it's my first time on the set, really, and it takes a bit of courage to do that.
Yeah.
You know?
And the writers are really, they're really strict for a show like this. You know, a lot of shows, sometimes you get the freedom to improvise, but this one, everything you say is looked upon and scrutinized by the fans because they're looking for little
Careful.
hints. So, you come up with something as the actor, and they're just like, oh, you can't really say that. And it's so hard because you feel it, know. And
right.
We can
you know.
definitely understand that. Like, fans are super hardcore, and they'll even call us out, like, which is great at the same time because it's just like that's what the fans do, and the fans know it like verbatim.
A lot of
we
people that
definitely
were
understand.
anti the whole Hannah and Cass thing, and we had questioned it, and he answered it very, very diplomatically. But the fans, like, I mean, almost all the tweets we got about it and stuff or comments were all super duper negative. We don't want to see Cass and Hannah together. Nobody wants to see it.
I was with Erica like when she was live tweeting another show, and it's like whoa, bang bang, bang. They're so passionate about it,
Yeah.
and that she looks at it as like she's done her job, she's provoked.
Exactly, provoked a
response.
good
Exactly.
response, and they're invested in it, and you guys are invested in those characters, so it has to be that way.
Yeah, I had to give a backstory for saying Dino, and because I call him Dino and Sammy Boy, it was never written like that. But I just felt that this guy has been pursuing these guys for so long that he knows them. So when you know someone, you give them nicknames, right? So I just felt like I've never encountered them, but in my mind I have. And so I was like, you know what? I would call him a nickname, and you had to fight for that. And every time they're like, let's try it, you say Dean, and I'd be like, all right. They'd be like, action. I'd be like, hey, Dino.
Get in there.
It was so nice at the 200th party in Vancouver. I got to meet some of the writers, Bob Behrens and Andy, and it just they put so much work in, and the scripts are so good, aren't they? When they're just all the beats are there, all the comedy and everything is there, unless we kill it. it's there. So I respect it. I mean, yeah. So it's nice to improvise.
Just a little.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's always
there's
fun.
not a lot of room. Yeah.
When we don't need to, it's there. It's all there.
Yeah.
How was it for the two of you joining this supernatural family?
Well, you did it first.
I did it first, and then I gave her kind of a heads up. I said, whoa.
We became instant pals in the set that day.
Yeah, and I just was saying, like, I believe we're kind of cut from the same artistry, which is, we just kind of focus on our work, and we don't pay attention to the world outside of it. And this show is very much you have to pay attention to the world outside of it.
I've been practicing on Twitter. I've been trying. I was terrible before, and I'm like, now I'm on Twitter and Facebook, and everything. I'm like, because it's so fun and to interact, and it's part of it, and so are the conventions and everything else. And it's amazing to land in a show that has been running so long and has such an amazingly dedicated fan base. It's such a gift as an actor.
It's like nothing I've ever seen. I've been doing it for 15 years, and I've been on a lot of shows that are good, and they have fan bases, but this supersedes, I think, this
takes your breath away.
Everything in the industry, and even the cons, from what I'm learning, like Jensen and Jared, they pretty much paved the way for these cons. Like they are at the top of the game when it comes to this. Like even like they're above William Shatner, which you'd think he's bigger than they are because he's been around forever. But I mean, they really have taken this to a whole nother level, and their fan interaction is just so impressive. It really is, and it's sweet.
They are, and they are just so amazing when they turn up and say, we were in the corridor scene together. That was the first day I was with both of them together.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Jared starts walking towards me with his legs like this, and I'm just like, don't know what he's doing. And he's taking the Mickey out of Jensen.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, they're like that every day. They're just so fresh, and I mean, if I could be like that after 10 years in a show, I'd be pleased with myself. They bring it and bring it and bring it. It's amazing. It's amazing. There's not a negative thing to say about it, is there?
Absolutely. And speaking of, like, it's known that Jared and Jensen, and even Misha, play like a few pranks on set, and they're like totally awesome guys like that. And I think in even Lyndsey's interview with Misha, the most recent prank was him throwing Jared's phone in the toilet.
yeah.
So did anything happen while you guys were on set? Was there anything? Did you get to experience anything of that?
Well, I mean, I thought that was funny with the I mean, I hadn't even noticed. You know what
Now you know, so beware.
No, no. I think they were very gentle with me to begin with, and we'll see how it goes on. I bumped into Jared in the supermarket afterwards.
What supermarket are you shopping at?
I can't say in Vancouver. And I had a bit of a cold, so I was trying not to breathe on him, and he was there with his wife and their kids, and I'm trying to keep out of his way because I know they're busy, and he was so like, how are you doing, and so engaged and checking up with me, and he didn't have to do that, but he did, and that's just that is them to a T. I think
That's really nice.
Yeah.
Nice to hear that.
Somehow, some way, they've managed to keep their heads on straight and stay humble, and I think it's they're from Texas and Austin. It's very grounded part of the world, and they just you go on a set and you see the lead actors of sets, and it trickles down. It's usually the two lead actors, the lead actor or the director, and if those people are hell on wheels, then the rest of the show is hell on wheels. And if those guys are the way they are, I mean, it's like a family. Like all of a sudden you have an instant family, and you don't say that very often. I can't say that about any other show I've been on. So
That's so awesome to hear.
Yeah.
I think that just makes everybody.
Ted, who picks me up in the car
Yeah,
usually, Ted's the
best.
best. He's been on the show for 10 years, the whole time. And my first journey with him, he was just talked about the boys. And that's how he sees them.
like they're his sons.
Yeah. I love Ted.
We need to get Ted on the show.
Hi, Ted. On our show.
I'm going to send him this.
Ted's been driving. He's been a driver in Vancouver for I want to say 30 plus years, and so movies like Shoot to Kill with Sidney Poitier and Tom Berenger. He was the driver for Tom Berenger.
Wow.
He just sits there and tells you stories about all these. And he only tells you the good ones. He doesn't say about any negative.
bad.
And
No.
if he likes you, you're okay. He was like, I looked you up on IMDb. And I think you've got the right face for it. And I'm
He's
like,
the most informed driver.
I'm going to be fine.
He probably has a file of you guys, everyone he drives.
They give him a script. He's like, you're good. I like your
he
voice.
reads the scripts.
He does.
He's like,
wow.
see what you're up to.
The whole crew, everyone is a fan of the show.
Oh, that's
I've
awesome.
worked on TV shows, and I asked them, I'm like, so do you guys watch the show? And they're like, no, we work on it while we would watch it. But
Oh,
everybody on that set
Yeah, they were
watches it.
screening the 200th episode there, and I don't know how many times they must have screened it for everyone to see it on their lunch break and stuff.
Oh, it's really great.
Yeah, they're into it.
It's super a big SPN supernatural family, and it's great to hear that they also, like you were saying, Travis, a lot of the shows that you've previously worked on, they're not necessarily that close or
It's a
watch
job.
the show. Yeah,
There's
and
just no
I've
ego.
actually met people like that too, so I definitely know what you're saying. And sorry, what were you saying?
No,
Ruth?
it's just there's no ego. I think they've been doing it so long. It's a well-oiled machine. There's nobody's trying
And
to
it's
prove
natural.
themselves. And my friend was just on a show recently, and the lead actor wasn't warm with them, and it was difficult. And it's like, it's just not like that. There's no ego. It's great.
Well, a lot of it is too because they do it for the fans. They don't do it because this is my job. It's something that they love and they're passionate about. And I think if they weren't like that, the show wouldn't have been going on this long.
That's why they're
You
successful.
can't fake it that long.
Yeah, that's why
Absolutely.
they're successful.
And you guys so excited that the Supernatural family has received you guys, really welcomed
Yeah.
you,
Oh,
and
yeah.
tweet you and everything.
I think I had 400 followers when I got on. I was not a big social media person at all. I think we come from the same world of keeping your life private, but we're also having to transition to this new world of acting where you literally, a job will be given to someone based upon their followers.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Two people
Wow.
come in and do just a good job, and
Yeah.
this is a good fit, he's a good fit, she's a good fit, and then they look at your social media.
Right.
So immediately, me and her, I think we're on the same page. We're like, okay, here we go. I guess we got to
Dive
get in the
head
world.
first.
Because
What happened with me was I couldn't sleep one night. It was 1:30 in the morning, and I got up and you touch your phone, and I was like, oh, what's happened to my Twitter? And somebody had leaked my name. Somehow there was a spoiler.
Oh wow.
It had attached my name. I hadn't told anyone I was casting it, and somehow somebody had, and it was messages from Argentina, Russia. I was like, whoa! And that's when it kind of dawned on me how it might
That
be.
definitely must have, as you're saying, dawned on you, and that kind of must have clicked. You're like, wow, this is definitely, this is happening.
I was immediately is this my fault? And no,
Yeah.
it's not.
Well, you
What
guys
am
are
I getting
doing
into?
great on social media, just so you know. For
Cool.
someone, we all use it, so definitely you're doing a great job, you guys. Keep it
our
up.
best.
Any tips?
Yeah.
But yeah, so let's get back. So Sam and Dean meet up with, we have the awesome fight scene with Dean and Cole, which I thought was really good, really choreographed well too. It was cool because we know Dean can fight, and we know, Cole has the background. We never really saw him fight. He fought Sam a little bit, but it was cool to see you go toe to toe with Dean. Like, it was pretty evenly matched, I thought.
Yeah, I think that's what they wanted it. But at the same time, it's it's Dean's show. You can't beat the hell out of the main guy, even if you could. And to be quite honest with you, I'm 5'7", 5'8" on a good day. On my back.
Me too.
Yeah, and the boys are 6'1", 6 foot, and Jared's like 6'8".
Oh, wow.
he's a beast. So like the torture scene, they had him sitting in a chair, and I was eye to eye with him sitting in a chair. And like the punch, I had to punch him. I had to hit. I had to go like this. And literally, when you're doing those scenes, that was the trick. Is like going toe to toe with someone who's so much bigger than you.
And did you see they had him up the hill? Yeah. I'm like, why am I down the hill? He's up the hill. He's 6 foot and I'm 5 foot. What were they thinking?
I don't know what we needed like apple boxes.
Speaking of the fighting scene, though, I know you were mentioning the makeup was amazing for that. It really was. You don't see that all the time with fighting. You see the bruises after the fact, but you can see them in the middle of the fight. I loved that.
And I did an independent film recently where I think doing this show and a group of people and a crew that have been together for 10 years, it is beyond a well-oiled machine. Whereas you do like a film or an independent film, and just as the movie's wrapping, everyone's starting to learn their jobs. It's like, okay, that's it, it's a wrap. And you're like, it's just, so you get on this, and it's like 24/7, someone's like, they've got their hands on you, they're touching you, and it's weird because they're just doing their job, but they're doing it so well that you don't even notice that they're doing it. Like, I'll just sit there and you just get used to the hands and the face.
When I finished filming the last scene that you see with me and Mark, like immediately afterwards, they all come and take pictures for
continuity purposes.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
For next episode and everything. So immediately I had hair and makeup and costume. And Mark kind of like puts his hand through everyone and shakes my hand and said, well done.
There's like 7 people on here. Man, you do like an independent film. And I literally went from this to an independent film, and I'm sitting there, I'm like, why is no one touching me?
Someone can touch me.
So let's get to the final scene we see.
Yeah.
We find that, Crowley's demons have caught Rowena when she was escaping the boys, and that she's being held in some dungeon. I'm guessing it was in hell.
Yeah,
right?
it was in hell.
Somewhere in hell. They brought you down there. And then we find out, as Crowley's talking to her, and Rowena is pleading for him to just kind of, she's like, kill me. I figure you're going to, you captured me, you're the king of hell. And then I thought the shot of Crowley, like just kind of that weird, the angle of the camera, or the like
that's
zoom
a Hitchcock thing.
Yeah. And he just kind of realized, and he goes, Mother? And we all screamed.
Screaming.
How hard was it to keep that quiet?
It's been really hard, and it's just I just can't. There's no point in telling anyone really, and having that risk. And yeah.
Did it stay quiet? Was there any leaks? I didn't notice anything.
There wasn't any leaks. There was speculation, but there were no actual leaks.
Yeah, I didn't see anything.
Yeah, there was nothing like on any outlets, but it was absolutely like you're saying. It was
people.
So many fans were definitely speculating that, and heaps of people who comment on our YouTube.
Or maybe I was his wife or something, or
my
mother of his
like
son, or something like that. And that's kind of what I had imagined when I was auditioning. I thought maybe that was it, and it was such a cool thing to find out. That it's even better. I'm the mother of the king.
And did you find out when you read the script, or was that kind of like not in the script, and then after
I booked the role? It was hidden in the script.
Okay, gotcha. Okay.
So to like study, did you just like go to the DMV all day? Like, what did you do? Like, where'd you learn how to be the queen of hell?
It's in the blood.
It's in the blood.
Gotcha. So what was it like to film that scene with Mark Sheppard?
We set it up, did a rehearsal, and that was the take.
Okay. Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, I think because I was tied up, I couldn't not hit my mark, which is all. I've done a lot more theatre, and so like millimeters count on camera. So they tied me up so I can move, and I had prepared it a lot in my own mind. I had really thought about every single line and every single moment, you know, like, you know, just do it, you know, just kill. I had really, so I think it was getting on in the evening, and they liked the first take, and I was like, print it, and
Wow.
and that's when everyone comes round you, and then Mark kind of goes, you know, and he was so welcoming. He's incredibly welcoming, and he's my pal now. You know, he's my buddy.
He's got to be now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't wait to see more scenes with you two going on.
please.
'cause-
To see what's there.
Yes.
To see.
Yeah, I made a mistake with Messenger because I did my episode and then I left and I've been gone for a while, and I'd figured, you know, that when I left time I left her, she was putting a spell on somebody. She was like saying, so I thought it was already known. And so, like, I tweeted her. I said, "How's my favorite witch?"
Nobody knows
I'm like, "No, take it down!" And I'm like, "Ah!" I like dropped my phone, and I was like, "What am I? It's Halloween!" Like, yeah,
there was so much speculation, but nobody had actually confirmed it, and I was like, "It can't come from us," because I'm really aware of the spoilers thing. Because I shouldn't say this, but I'm a liability. I'm just like, I can be quite direct and quite honest about things, and it's like it's hard to like backtrack away from the facts that I know. I don't find that easy to look somebody in the eye and go, I'm not telling you. I don't know.
Yeah,
I
that's
find it easy.
also, it's also hard with traveling too, because if they know you're going back to Vancouver, like you're like, I'm off to Vancouver. They're like,
I don't. I'm not very. I'm not. I'm trying to
where
keep
it
your
on the down
location
low.
is.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like, no, I'm at home. I'm at home.
Because your home is supernatural.
And it's just natural for us because we love our jobs to like send a
You're
picture or
excited,
tweet a picture like
Yeah.
I got in trouble because I tweeted a picture of me in my full makeup being beat up, and I was
did?
my mom was like,
That's a rookie mistake.
I was a rookie mistake.
Mom yelled at you or they
my
yelled?
mom was like, show me what you look like today, and I sent her a tweet, you know, and I was like, this is my face today, Mom.
Oh my gosh.
All of a sudden it was like, no, you can't do that.
Did you have to take it down?
You
I
don't
did.
even, but you don't even think
You
like
don't think
that
like it. No, you
because
don't.
it's so, social media is so big right now that it's everything, but you never ever had to worry about that.
Never on anything else I've ever done.
Can you
ever.
tweet it out now?
Oh yeah. Well, once there, I think
Once
once
it
the show's
airs.
there,
Once it airs,
then
yeah.
you could tweet it out.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
we're just so used to like taking pictures of ourselves on set. and-
Are we?
Oh, I am. I am.
Taking selfies.
Well,
The
I think just working as an actor, you're so blessed. You're so fortunate to get a job in this town that when you get one, it's almost like you want to celebrate it,
totally.
and let people know, like, I'm working.
Totally.
Because that's the number one thing people ask you on a daily basis is,
Yeah.
what are you working on? So, you know, when you get on a job, you're like, look, I'm working.
Yeah.
Yeah. But so, you know, we find out you're the mother of the king of hell. I can't wait to see what happens next. But Travis, before I think we're about to be wrapping up soon.
Sure.
Travis, is there anything you want to plug that you're coming out? Like, gonna be
Yeah,
on?
sure. I have 2 films with John Travolta coming out in 2015.
Awesome.
That.
Criminal
I saw that,
Activities
yeah.
and The Forger.
In the Forge, yeah.
And then I have 3 independent films that I did that are fantastic. One's called Blue Jay, takes place in the mountains. Another one's called The Condor, which I went to Slovenia, which was when I left her, and that was wonderful to do that. And
That's a serious movie. Right?
yeah, that's a real interesting project.
Sounds busy.
Yeah, so it's been a good 2015, and you know, I don't know what's gonna happen with Cole. We'll see.
It's definitely not the end.
We'll see where he's going. But the thing I plug the most when I work is I'm big into animal welfare. And
Arm
so
the Animals,
Arm
right?
the Animals is my company, and we help keep animals safe and sheltered and alive. And then Extinction Soup is a documentary I did to help sharks from being slaughtered. There's 70 million killed a year, and if we lose the sharks in our water, it'd be essentially if we lost police in Crenshaw.
Wow.
Like it would be mass hysteria if we do not have you know, those animals regulating the ocean. So we're wiping them out for their fins, for shark fin soup, and it's tragic. And at the rate we're going, you won't even be able to go in the ocean because of jellyfish and all these other things
Right.
will happen. So
Wow.
those are the things I'm working
Right.
on
Love it.
outside of the entertainment business.
That's great.
And Ruth,
Yeah.
what do you have coming up besides coming back as the mother
I'm
of
way
Crowley?
dull compared. No, I just shot a Dogma style movie with my friend Henry Alberto. It's called Harakiri, and I'd never done anything like that before. So that was just a couple of weekends ago, and I did one and a movie earlier this year called The Cursed Man,
Okay.
which is based on a cult novel, which it'll be coming out. Both will be coming out next year, and and this is my first American TV show, so this is just this is enough. I'm like, this is enough for me right now. I'm so excited and so happy to be here.
Awesome. Well, we are very happy that you guys were here. Travis, what is your Twitter?
It's just all my name.
No,
Everything's
okay.
my main. It's
Gotcha.
everything's my name. Travis Aaron Wade at Twitter, Instagram, Facebook,
Gotcha.
all of it. Yeah. Don't do Travis Wade.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, we heard about that. Don't do Travis Wade. Ruth,
Or do Travis Wade.
Ruth, what is yours? I know it's Ruthie.
It's Ruthie Connell. It might have an underscore or something.
No underscore.
No, it's just Ruthie
Connell.
Connell.
Yes.
So cute.
Yes.
That's adorable.
It's just Ruth Connell.
Look at you.
There you go.
And my Instagram is Ruth Connell as well.
Awesome.
Perfect.
Yeah, cheers.
We're
on you.
very happy you guys are here.
to look up.
It was great to hear, behind the scenes of the show. But
Tom, before we say that, we
Yes.
need to just talk about really fast about
Yes.
Dean and the Mark of Cain and the fact that he
Predictions?
said he is,
He's
too far gone.
But then he said he lied,
But he told Sam
so-
that he
I don't
lied.
think he lied.
I don't know.
I
we
think
will
we're gonna see
speculate about that on
problems.
Twitter.
We'll speculate. We can
Yeah.
discuss it on YouTube.
I just
Yes.
think we
on
need
the
to bring it
comments.
up
I have a
very
few
fast.
predictions, so.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Well, we got to wrap up. No predictions this
Absolutely,
week.
I
We'll do
know.
predictions next week. Mikaela, where can the people find you?
Okay, you guys can find me on Twitter at Mickey_Phillips, MIKI_Phillips, and on Instagram at Mikaela Phillips.
Gotcha.
And you guys can find me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at Lyndsey Wegner or my blog, lyndsey.wegner.blogspot.com.
You can find me on Twitter at Katie Campbell. That's Katie with 3 E's, and Instagram at Katie Campbell 13.
Awesome. You guys can find me on Twitter at TomTheCom. We will tweet our predictions for next week. And we see Sheriff Mills is back next week, too, so that should be good. We'll see you guys next week at our normal time, 11 o'clock. See you guys then.
Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.